welcome to episode 34 of Star Wars Tabletop Gaming. In today's episode, I want to take a look at just two of the new things we saw come out of Gencon 2018. That is Chewbacca, an operative, and the Wookie Warriors, a unit expansion. So there was more for Legion. We saw all kinds of things as the personnel expansions, but I'll keep them for another video. Today, I want to focus on Chewbacca and the Wookiees. I am so excited about these releases, mostly because of the models. I think they're fantastic, but let's talk about that a little later. Let's just jump into Chewbacca right now. Okay, let's look at his card. So Chewbacca, he is 110 points. So pretty pricey, up around the Han Solo mark, which is obviously not a mistake. He has Enrage 4. Now this says, here we go, we're in squinting territory now. All we've got is the pictures from the Fantasy Flight website. If only they could put in some links. Just a hint, any Fantasy Flight employees listening to this, just chuck an enlarged version into your articles. You'd make everyone so happy. But we can see he's got Enrage 4, which reads, while you have 4 or more wound tokens, treat your courage as blank and gain charge. That's fantastic. So you're going to want to get 4 wounds on him real quick, and something will help you do that, which I'll talk about in just a second. He is an expert climber. While clambering, do not roll defense dice or suffer wounds. Very nice, getting through terrain, and we want to see tables with lots of terrain to climb. He has Guardian 3. Now here we go. So Chewbacca is designed to go with Han Solo, right? He's got Teamwork Han Solo, which is while you're at range 1 to 2 of Han Solo, when you or Han gain an aim or dodge token, the other unit gains a token as well, or of the same type. So there you go. So as long as Han and Chewie are hanging out together, you're throwing out dodge and aim tokens like there's no tomorrow, and there's no reason why the units can't kind of get both within their activation while still shooting. Maybe not if you're moving, but that's life. He's also unhindered, so you ignore the effects of difficult terrain. Awesome. That's what Wookiees do, right? They're used to running through the forest. So Guardian 3 is huge, and this is why you want to keep him within range 1 of Han Solo. Han is going to be a huge target for your opponent, especially if they're running Boba Fett. Right, he's going to be pretty easy to pick off. I mean, sure, he has that lucky special rule where he gets to re-roll, I think, 3 of his defense dice, but he's still only got white defense. So having Guardian 3 on Chewbacca and putting him next to Han or putting him next to Leia or Luke, whoever you want to keep alive, is going to be awesome because Chewie has 9 health. So many healths. That's 1 more than Vader, people. It is insane. He does have white defense dice, however, so life isn't perfect for Chewie, but 9 health is just so much health. So he's going to be able to really keep your other commanders alive for a long time, and that's kind of his purpose, but it's not the only thing he does. So he has Courage 2, but of course, once he has 4 wounds, ignore that. He'll be sticking around forever, which is so insane. He has a Surge to Crit, which is fantastic. 2 movement, that's what we like to see. Now, his weapons are pretty great. He has Overpower, which is his close combat weapon, where he just Wookiee rages out, which is 4 red dice. So nice. And one of the upgrades that comes with him, which we'll discuss in a minute, can add to that as well. He also has Chewbacca's Bowcaster, which is range 1 to 3, 2 red dice, 2 white dice, impact 1, pierce 1. Fantastic weapon. It's going to be great in all situations. So there we go. So that is Chewbacca. So as I said, what you're going to want to be doing with him is keeping him close to Han Solo, so they're gaining those aim and dodge tokens. He's making sure wounds are being stripped off Han and given over to Chewbacca. Now, I believe... Guardian. I believe Han gets to roll his defense, and then it comes over to Chewie. Maybe the other way around. Anyway, I'm not going to dive into that because I just can't remember what Guardian does right now. Let's look at the one command card that we can see with Chewie. So that is, let's just zoom in, enhance. That is Notorious Scoundrels. Chewbacca and Han Solo. Choose one of Han Solo's command cards in your discard pile. Return that card to your pool. Now, we know that Han has some amazing command cards, especially his 0-pip command card, which means you're guaranteed to go first. So being able to recycle that, let alone some of the other bonkers command cards that he has, is just fantastic. At the same time, it gives an order to Chewie and Han. Great. So Chewie is this really unique support character. He's obviously 20 points more expensive than Leia, but he puts out a lot more damage. But he supports in different ways to how she supports, and I really like the design behind that. He's meant to go with Han. I dare say he'll be able to support the other Rebel characters in some way. I'm excited about running him. Now, it gets pricey, right? You've got Han, you've got Chewie, you give them some upgrades. You're looking at about 250 points for the two of them. So, not cheap. But I mean, if they're running the Emperor or they're running Vader, your opponent, that is, they're pretty much paying 250 for one of them. So the value that you get out of them, the survivability on these units to hunker down on objectives and really threaten them and just stop your enemy's trooper units from coming near them is pretty fantastic. Other things we can see from the article for Chewie, tenacity. Geez, this is a hard one to read. While performing a melee attack, if you are wounded, or if one or more of your minis have been defeated, add 1 red attack die to your attack pool. Cool. So as long as Chewie's taken some wounds, with Guardian, I'm sure he will no matter what, whether they're focusing him or Han, or any other commander that's near him. Can you Guardian from, like, trooper units? I think you can. I don't think Guardian specifically is just for commanders. I think it's other units, so it will protect your other Rebel trooper units as well, which is really nice. So yeah, it's going to give him 5 red attack dice, essentially, in close combat, which is so sweet. That's almost Vader levels of insanity. He obviously doesn't have Pierce 3 or Impact 3 on his close combat, nor should he. That's fine. But he's definitely going to do some serious work to enemies when he charges into them, which will be great to see. So I think Chewbacca's great. I can't wait to team him up with Han, some other Rebel commanders, and just place him on objectives and be a real pain in the butt. Now, the miniature itself is awesome. Classic Chewie. We've seen some pretty dodgy commander minis come out of FFG for Legion so far. No one's denying that. But I think Chewbacca is right what we want to see. I think he looks excellent. And I can't wait to put him on the table. But that is not the most excited Wookiee unit for the Gencon spoilers. Way more exciting are these Wookie Warriors. Let's jump on over to the Kashyyyk Killers, as they've named them in the article. So dramatic. The Wookie Warriors, they're so pretty. All right, the miniatures on these are amazing. I have not really been interested in Rebels. You may notice my Red Imperials, if you follow my Facebook stuff, is what I've been painting up and focusing on, because the Rebel minis, I don't know, they're not overly exciting, right? Well, that has all changed. These Wookie Warrior miniatures are just brilliant. They're so good looking. They look really aggressive. They've got these cool harness things going on. They've got those insane Kashyyyk knife things. They've got awesome, cool pistol, bulky thing, grenades hanging off them. They're just amazing. These Wookie Warriors are, I think, the best miniatures we've seen for Legion so far. They definitely outclass the Royal Guard, which I guess they're competing with. And I cannot wait to have an army of Wookie Warriors. I just wish they were core, right? So then, Chewbacca, operative. These guys, special forces. Wish they were core, so I can make an all kind of Wookiee army. But you can't have everything you wish for, right? So these guys are special forces, and let's get into their cards. So for 3 miniatures, they are 75 points. They have charge right from the get-go, which is what you really want from a melee unit, so thank goodness for that. Expert climbers, while clambering, do not roll defense dice or suffer wounds, just like Chewie. They are indomitable. During your rally step, roll red defense dice instead of white. That's kind of nice. That's really cool. So they're not going to get bogged down. They have a courage of 2, so that combined with indomitable means they're going to be moving forward. Kind of an alternate rule on the Royal Guard's rule, where if the Royal Guard, if they have a face-up token, I think you can remove 2. Kind of, what am I looking for here? Suppression tokens. These guys are a little different, but those red defense dice are going to strip suppression off them in a big way, which is really nice. And just like Chewie, they're unhindered, so they ignore the effects of difficult terrain, which is great. So let's see tables with lots of forests on them and Wookie Warriors just running through them and not caring. They have 3 health each. Each mini has 3 health. So just imagine these guys are in light cover, or even better, behind hard cover. If they're behind hard cover, your opponent has to deal 5 damage before you're even removing 1 miniature. So these guys are really going to stick around. They do only have white defense dice, such as the Rebel's Curse. They have an offensive surge to hits, no defensive surge. They move 2. Their weapons are pretty nice. So they have the Kashyyyk the Reek Blade, I guess is what it's called, is 2 black dice in melee, and your Kashyyyk pistol, which is range 1 to 2, 1 black dice and 1 white dice. So they are certainly no slouch at range either. But once they get into combat, they're going to tear some stuff up. You can add a single mini to this unit, and we've got that. That's called the Bowcaster Wookie. It is range 1 to, I think that's a 3. I assume it's a 3 because of Chewbacca's Bowcaster. It is 1 red dice and 1 white dice. It has impact 1 and pierce 1. So fantastic weapon there. These guys are still going to be doing damage at range, and then of course that Bowcaster Wookie still gets to use his Reek Blade when he charges into combat. So full unit, charging into combat, you're going to get 8 black dice, which is super spicy. So really nice, and just be an absolute tar pit. So it's going to take a lot to kill these guys. So if you've got 4 miniatures in there, you're paying what the Bowcaster is 35 points, so you're up at 110 points for a full unit of them, but you've got 12 health, which is nuts. So that is the Wookie Warriors. I am 100% going to get at least 2 units of these. All of my Rebel armies will have them in them. Are they going to be super competitive? We'll have to wait and see. I think they will be. I think melee units are actually going to be great for Legion and going to be pretty competitive, because this game, of course, is all about getting to and denying your opponent objectives. And an opponent's not going to want to get near an objective if you've got ridiculous melee units sitting on it. And certainly you can go forth and take your opponent's objectives in a much more kind of assault-orientated or defined manner. When they're in cover, sitting from range, 1 to 3 away and shooting at them is just not that effective at removing enemy units from cover. But running 4 Wookiees into them is definitely going to do it. So that is the Wookie Warriors. And Chewbacca that we've seen. So those are 2 of the Gencon kind of releases that we saw. I watched the video live, which was awesome, and it was great to see these come out and pop up. I'm super excited about running them. The miniatures are, I think, some of the best we've seen for Legion so far, and they really add something spicy, interesting, and fun to the Rebel list. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've learned something, and until next time, may the Force be with you. This video was sponsored by Gatekeeper Games, your key to gaming unplugged, a tabletop store offering a friendly atmosphere for people to buy and play their games in the north of Fitzroy.